Hi, Dayna Martin here from Unschooling America. I'm here to share a little bit more information about unschooling with you. Today's topic is on deschooling. I've had a lot of emails lately. It seems all my emails seem to come in at once with the same topic. It's just funny. It's the law of attraction, I think. But a lot of emails recently about deschooling. People are really curious to know how to go about the process of deschooling. Well, deschooling, you can look at it in a few different ways. In one way, it's the process that children coming from, being raised in school or having gone through some schooling. The process of deschooling is something that children have to go through to come to this life of unschooling, and the same thing is true for parents. It's something we really have to go through to get to this point. It's not like a light switch. You can't just go from having your child in school to unschooling. So much of the process is more, it's not just physical. It's not the physical process of taking a child out of school. So much of it's the mental, emotional process of relearning. It's reprogramming yourself after 12 plus years of, being part of the system yourself and thinking of learning in a certain way. So, real learning, natural learning occurs really differently than the way that our, culture thinks it occurs. Like in school, the way schools show us, like really linear and really neat and organized. Real and natural learning does not look at all like that. It's actually pretty chaotic. What it reminds me of totally is a wave. It reminds me of like it ebbs and flows completely. My children actually just recently. The reason I haven't done a YouTube video in a couple of weeks is because we've all been going through this process of like these huge chunks of learning these new things, and so I haven't had much free time to get on here. Right now everything's kind of quieting down, so I can do a few more videos, which I'm really thrilled about. But so it's really like a wave, it's like huge learning chunks of different things with your kids and things happening, and then we have real quiet moments. So that's more natural, I think, definitely, is to learn in that way. So anyway, you definitely have to reprogram yourself and learn what natural learning really looks like, and also stop thinking in schoolish terms. That's a huge thing, is getting over, by using any kind of terms at all having to do with school, like field trip or curriculum or semester or grade. It's living life as though school didn't exist. I mean, our kids know it exists, we know it exists, but when you don't have it in your life, you don't need to think in those terms at all. So it's also getting rid of the idea that your children have to know certain things at certain ages. They don't, and school makes you feel as though they do. So it's kind of hard getting to that idea of like constantly examining what's inside their heads. The way that schools handle children, it's really invasive, the way that we're always trying to see what's in their brains, and it's usually pretty inaccurate. It'd be the equivalent of bringing your child to the doctor like every other day to have the doctor check them out to see if anything's wrong with them. It's a really unnatural way to go about life, and more damage comes from being constantly examined, I think, than just trusting a child. So again, I've mentioned trust before on other YouTube videos, how important coming to this is, and I know it can be really scary. I think a lot of people, a lot of other unschoolers I've talked to, there are these moments like during deschooling and coming to this life where things feel so amazing, so right, so real, that you almost feel like you're doing something wrong. They're so wonderful because we weren't raised this way at all. It just feels like almost like you're getting away with something. Because life is just so joyful, but you're not. It's totally pure and true and whole and natural and exactly as it should be, and you're not doing anything wrong. Everybody's perfect and right, but because life hasn't ever felt that way before, as for yourself as a child, and for most children in our culture, it just feels wonderful, but at the same time, it feels like it's hard to explain. It's kind of hard for me to put into words, but I think that those of you that have gone through it know what I mean. So it's just these fleeting thoughts. That's not like a continuous thought. What I think that feels like to me is I like to compare everything to birth. I'm a total birth junkie. I'm a natural childbirth teacher and doula, so I always think of things in the same way I think of birth. And I swear, when you go through those processes we go through self-doubt as unschoolers first coming to this life and part of the deschooling process. And when you have those moments of, oh my goodness, things are too good to be true. Is this okay? Is this okay to be going through? To me, that's like the equivalent of transition. That's your unschooling transition point when you're going through that. And if you can push through it and get through it, you'll know how wonderful it could be on the other side, that life every day can feel like that. And it does for us. So it's a matter of like not seeing learning at certain times of the day, not always constantly examining your child's mind, like, what did you learn today? Those are something that some friends that I have that are traditional homeschoolers ask their kids all the time, and that's something I really don't do at all. I really respect what's in their minds, and if they want to share it with me, great, and if not, that's great too, that's okay. So it's respect, it's trust. But in order to give your child the wonderful free life that you all want, you really are the one that have to do the changing. Children come into this life pretty easy. It's the adult, the parent, that has a really hard time leaping over to this point. So I think a really great way to do it is to read about other unschoolers. Read what real natural learning looks like. The Natural Child Project is a great website to read, stories of people going through this process, and just do a search online and you'll find lots of resources. So reading what it looks like to other people is really important, and getting rid of the idea that life has to be difficult, that learning has to be difficult and forced. When you get rid of all that negativity, under all of that is just joy and happiness and connection. So I hope this answered some of your questions about deschooling. I've had fun coming on YouTube. I've really missed doing a video. I've tried to do one like 3 different times in the last couple days, and it didn't pan out because the kids really needed me, and we were involved in a lot of different things. So glad to be back, and I look forward to doing another one really soon. Thanks.